I'm just tired. I think we need to get to a point as a country where we begin to trial policymakers who sleep on their jobs for murder. Because if that traffic light had been working, maybe that child would still be alive. We're going through a pandemic. We're telling people to socially distance themselves. When you have to deal with watching a 4-year-old boy die because of something as basic as fixing a traffic light, putting on a face mask is not a priority. Socially distancing yourself is not a priority. You get sick and tired of complaining about the most basic things. And every Ghanaian is entitled to his or her right to life. That means that the people we vote into power should do things to safeguard our livelihood. And if they fail, they should be held accountable. It's no longer a situation of begging them to fix lights. It's no longer a conversation about, we are not going to vote for you because you didn't do this. It has to be a conversation about, you sat down and a 4-year-old boy lost his life. So you are responsible for his death. That's what we need to start doing.
Yeah, Jafar, it takes me back to the Adenta situation that happened where the young girl was killed on the Adenta road, and then the communities all massed up onto the road and started to burn tires and set fires and all the rest. We've not learned. It's very obvious we've not learned. We're doing sporadic firefighting. That's what we're doing. So the Adenta situation came up. We run into there immediately, say, okay, let's fix this footbridges, and very quickly, and even to a certain large extent, it wasn't even a great job done, but at least something was done, right? You still find that even on that corridor, you find that people still mass up, on the streets, trying to cross the road without using the bridges, because, in my opinion, the entire stretch was poorly designed. You don't put footbridges where people are not, there's no natural massing up of people, right? That's not where you put footbridges. What they've done is that they put footbridges at places where people have to move away from their natural crossing point to further down the road before they cross. Why would they put themselves through that if they can see an easier alternative, right? And this is some of the things that we need to think about in the design of our roads. Now, the person who is sitting there, responsible to make sure that the traffic lights work, what have you been doing this entire time that those traffic lights are off? Because we know how systems work. There's somebody whose job it is to make sure that those lights that went off were fixed. It's someone's job. That person has sat on their buttocks and done nothing this entire time until the people have to mass up in the streets. Market, by the close of the day today, most of those traffic lights will be back on. Why do we have to do this to ourselves? And that person will still be in a job. The person will not be sacked. It's a country that we're trying to build. And yet there are people who are sitting there making sure that they don't do what it is that they are supposed to do, and they will take a salary at the end of every month. And when a problem like this happens, the blood of that child is on your hands, but they will still be in a job. Your bosses will not fire them. They will not be dealt with. It's a mess. I have my job. I come to my job every morning. You have your job. Do your job. How difficult is it to get the lights that have gone off? Of course, it's a machine. It's an electrical thing. It will go off from time to time, whether it's the bulbs, whether it's the cables, somebody has stolen cables, somebody has cut, whatever. Fix it. We don't need excuses. We don't need stories. Fix it. It's as simple as that. And let's stop killing innocent people on our roads. The boy knew that this highway kills people. So he says, should I cross this road to go and die? But he was chatting with his friends. And so his bigger brother says, okay, I've got to go. I'll see you. Godspeed. When he was done talking to his friends, stepped on the road. That was the end. That could be your son. It could be my child. What are we going to do as a country? Should we allow people who are negligent on their job to continue to take a salary from a taxpayer every month? Like you said, I mean, it's tiring. It's like, what else can we do?
Yeah, and for me, I may the soul of the young boy rest in peace. I look forward to the day where this will be the last time we will have this kind of conversation, because his blood is on all of our hands, from the highest level to the lowest level. Anyone who saw that traffic light was not working, and I've heard that he's not the only one.
No, he's not.
To lose his life,
Yeah.
right? If when people are driving on a highway, they are not thinking that human beings will be crossing. You think that traffic lights are working, So for me, beyond this, I'm just tired of us always reacting to things as a society.
Yeah.
We need to get to a point where we say, this is the last time this will happen. We're going to nip it in the bud. It won't happen again, so that we don't repeat this. It's a shame.
It's unacceptable.
On all of us.
It is really unacceptable, Jaffa. It's we can't condone this, And honestly, whoever it is that's in charge of, that department, wherever it is, I mean, you need to tender in your resignation. I mean, it's an embarrassment. You're a disgrace. I mean, I don't understand. If I don't do my job, I'll get fired. Why are you sitting in your job and feeling comfortable taking a salary at the end of the month? You're expecting your end of August salary too, and the boy is dead. What's your job? Do your job. That's all we ask. Do your job. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for Breakfast Daily. We have a packed show for you. Philip Kofi Ashong will be joining us later on to tell us what's going on in the world of tech.
In auto. So basically, there's all our vehicles have different gadgets and everything else. And as time goes on, there's various upgrades of your gadgets and so on and so forth. So you're going to be talking to us about some of the new innovations that have come in vehicles and all of that.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to this conversation.
And of course, we have Hello Mr. President for you. A bunch of you sent in your videos and messages, so we'll be taking a look at that. Before all of that, we have news review. Do not go anywhere. My name is Jifa Okia Amata.
And I'm David Kwekusechi.
We'll be right back.
There is nothing as hard as a diamond. For buildings with superior strength that withstand all weather conditions, Diamond Cement should be your preferred choice. Locate Diamond Cement nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrady and Bupe. Diamond Cement, as hard as a diamond.
Welcome back. It's time for us to do the news review. And this morning, I'm going to go through the headlines of the dailies that we have. We'll do some online stories. I'll introduce my guest to you, and we'll have a conversation. Now, the show is interactive, so kindly use the hashtag Breakfast Daily on all social media platforms. If you're watching us on Facebook, kindly comment on the stream below. And then if you also want to send us a message through WhatsApp, the WhatsApp line is +233 550 585832. All right, so on the front page of the Daily Graphic, we have sacrifice for national development. Speaker tasks nation. Don't misconstrue border closure, MPP tells NDC, but NDC insists on military withdrawal. Prime suspect in Kafaba lynching arrested. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, we have Speaker eulogizes country's forebearers. This is on the celebration of Founders Day. Kafaba lynching case. Fetish priestess grabbed. Residents demo against malfunctioning of Awoshi Highway traffic lights. On the front page of the New Crusading Guide, National Security nabbed 24 Togolese for sneaking to register. NDC desperately trying to undermine registration exercise. This is from Freddie Blay. Occupy Ghana advocates justice for Ikria Dente. UPSA Vice Chancellor reappointed to second term. Trade Ministry on course to reduce import bill as VW unveils newly assembled vehicles in Ghana. And on the front page of the Chronicle, Ahoy fires double barrels, disrobes Rawlings, bad timing for Mahama. Lotto wins must be paid promptly. This is from the board chair. Femau Pare charges Ghanaians to finish hard with voters' registration. MPP accuses NDC of engaging in tribal politics. Chebi gears up for Akufo-Addo's second term. Let's do some online stories. On citynewsroom.com, we have Mahama's promise to pay your salaries can't be fulfilled. Hajia Alima to assembly members. Kodeo unhappy with abuse of guarantor system in voter registration exercise. Kafaba lynching, arrested priestess faces court today. Police seeking to arrest onlookers in Kafaba lynching. MPP not seeking to suppress votes in voter region. This is from Mustafa Hamid. And on citybusinessnews.com, we have jobs and the environment will be protected in sale of Bogoso Prestia mine. This is coming from Golden Star. Construction industry chamber expresses concern over rising cost of building materials. Stop issuing insurance policies to some motorcycles for commercial purposes. This is from the NIC. The AFTA Secretariat to begin operations ahead of trade activities from January 2021. World Economic Forum partners to launch Africa's first country financing roadmap. And on my Joy Online, High Priestess involved in murder of 90-year-old Ikria Dente to appear in court on August 5th. And on BBC.com, Africa Live, Zimbabwe Vice President named Health Minister after COVID-19 scandal. All right, so that's what we have there in your news. For more news, kindly visit citynewsroom.com, and for more business news, citybusinessnews.com. So we continue in the show. My guests, we'll have one of my guests seated in studio right now. Jifa Tega, she is a member of the National Communication Team for the NDC. Good morning, Jifa.
Good morning, Jay.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you too?
I'm very good, thank you. And we also have Loratu Musa Saka. She's a member of the National Communication Team of the MPP. Loratu, good morning.
Good morning, David.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you too?
I'm very, very well, thank you. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this morning we're going to have a conversation, first of all, about the voters' registration exercise, and there are accusations being traded left, right, and center from the two main political parties. Let me just read a couple of stories here, and we'll delve into the conversation. The first one here says Akufo-Addo is using diabolic nation-wrecking agenda to prevent voters from registering. It's coming from the NDC. The opposition National Democratic Congress has insisted that the Nana Akufo-Addo government has been encouraging voter suppression through ethnocentrism. The National Communication Officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi, who addressed the party's weekly press briefing at the party's headquarters, referenced recent pockets of violence at some registration centers and developments at Banda, where residents in settler communities were allegedly prevented by the military from registering in the voters' registration exercise. And I quote, "Indeed, we in the NDC have long known about this diabolical and nation-wrecking agenda. As part of our resistance against the compilation of a new voters register, we argued forcefully that the EC's entrenched and unjustifiable decision to compile this register at all costs was part of a grand scheme to help the MPP and President Akufo-Addo to suppress votes and disenfranchise many in NDC strongholds. But Ghanaians did not believe us, but called on us to produce evidence to back our claims. And so today we'll be showing you evidence of some state-sponsored discrimination and unlawful prevention of thousands of Ghanaians belonging to various ethnic groups, including Ewes, Northerners, and other non-Akans from registering at various registration centers across the length and breadth of the country. We hope Ghanaians will understand this time the MPP's clandestine agenda through the ethnocentric agenda to rig the 2020 general election and the dangers that harbors for the peace and stability of our beloved country." All right, so let me just quickly read another story, and the story goes on there, but I'll read another one here. MPP not seeking to suppress votes in Volta region. This is from Mustafa Hamid. A deputy campaign manager in charge of communication for the New Patriotic Party, Mustafa Hamid, has rejected claims that the MPP government is seeking to suppress votes in the Volta region ahead of the December polls. Mustafa Hamid said the NDC is peddling this falsehood in order to incite persons from the Volta region against the MPP. And I'm going to quote, "What the NDC is doing is to pitch us, the MPP, against the good people of the Volta region. All that we are asking for is Ghanaians to register. Ghanaians, not foreigners. Before coming here, I checked the figures from the EC website, and over 800,000 people have registered in the Volta region. Over 800,000 is just 100,000 short by the 2016 figures. Now, if people are being suppressed in the region, will we have such figures coming from there? I am very sure by the time the EC finishes this registration, we will hit the 900,000 mark the region had in 2016 Where is the suppression? All right, let me start with you, Jifa. So I'll start with you with the question that he asked here. Where is the suppression?
Let me say a good morning to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and to all my fellow communicators. He's asking where is the suppression? It's as if he's not living in Ghana, because we have provided videos that supported our claim. We didn't just come out to say that people are being suppressed. There were live videos that, now everyone uses a phone and then the camera is so accessible. There were live videos in different parts of the country.
What are some of the things that the video showed for those who haven't seen?
States sponsored, okay, let me just, there was a recent video where General Secretary Johnson Asidu Nketia was in the Banda district, and he realized that people were coming in to vote and there were military men. That is why initially I used state-sponsored, because I cannot go and instruct any military man to go somewhere and do anything. It has to be state-sponsored, who were stopping the citizens from coming to vote. And even the chief of the police, was against it. He came on some of the videos. I'm shocked you don't have it. I'm sure you've seen it. Probably you can just ask your producer to search for it and then we can play. It was all over just a few days ago. You understand? And they were being questioned. They had no explanation even. It was obvious that they had been instructed to come and stop people from registering. And that is what they were doing.
But Mustafa Habib says Ghanaians are the ones being encouraged to vote, not foreigners. And they are there because there are strong international ties in those places where foreigners live in Ghana as well. So that's a concern.
No, the Banda constituency...
Is that not justified?
No, it's not justifiable, because you are trying to push it to a direction where you are trying to say that it is very questionable to be an Ewe and say you are a Ghanaian. You understand?
How so?
How so? Because these people that I talked about are from Banda, and they are Ewes. They are settlers over there. Okay. Banda is not in the Volta region of Ghana. It's in the Modern region of Ghana. Okay. So you see them there, and because you realize they are Ewes, you want to insinuate that they are foreigners? Okay. Is it because you think that all Ewes, how the NPP are trying to pose the whole issue, that all Ewes are definitely Togolese? I don't understand.
But that's not, I think that's an unfair statement.
No, it's not an unfair statement. They haven't stated it upright. But that is the direction they are pointing.
But you are Ewe, right?
I am Ewe.
Nobody's
a lot of people would want to question me if they have the opportunity.
Your
it's because probably I speak Chi well. Because in Volta region, there is a Pena constituency. And there was a military man who came and asked, there are people in the queue, and you'll be spoken to in French. When you are able to reply, that means you're not a Ghanaian, and then they get you off. My father speaks French very fluently.
Okay.
Akufo-Addo speaks French very fluently.
Yeah.
But they happen to be in Volta region, and they speak French, and so that means they are not Ghanaian. And that is the only thing. They didn't even bother to ask them for their passports. And in those places, a lot of people don't have passports, but they didn't even bother to ask for their Ghana cards. And that is where I always have a problem with, where the former, the previous voter register, voter ID card was not used. They didn't ask for any identification because you can speak French. Then they take you off. And they are being brutalized. The whole thing is, they are being suppressed. And if I were a parent, I'm not so political, I'd be home and I'll tell my children, look, don't bother going to the centers to register. I do not want anyone to touch you. I don't want any harm to come to you. That is what is happening. So I do not know why he's saying where is the suppression, where there are countless cases.
Yeah, but he's saying that in 2016, there were 900,000 people on the voters register. And right now, the new registration that's being done, we've already crossed 800,000. And he believes that by the time this election, this voter registration exercise is over, we would have hit the extra 100,000 mark anyway. No. So then, for him, that throws into question everything that the NDC is saying.
It is because the NDC, we are not pushovers. You can't just come and scream at us in it.
But how do you justify the fact that you have so many people registering at the same time you claim voter suppression?
We are doing our work well. The voter registration is here to stay. The court ruled, the EC went through with it, and that is the key to winning the election. We decided that very day that there was a ruling on this matter that we were going to vote in our numbers. If you remember, just a few days before registration started, we heard that some military men had been deployed to the borders at Volta region. And immediately we also followed up with a press conference. So we just made our people aware what we suspect the government is trying to do, and it enraged them. You understand? We empowered them to come out and not to fear. Severally, even though there has been so many brutalities going on, we have encouraged our people to defend themselves and never sit back. So we are just not pushovers. We are determined because we know that we are going to win this election, and we would have to vote before we win it. The voter registration exercise is the only option. So we are not just going to be pushed aside by what the MPP is trying to do. That is why we've come out to register in our numbers. And tomorrow is the last day. I'm telling you, as of today, people are still registering. So I think their agenda has backfired a little bit. So if he's asking why we have recorded such numbers, it's because we didn't allow ourselves to be pushed over by the NPP. So I don't think that is
there's a story of the New Crusading guy that says the National Security nabs 24 Togolese for sneaking into register. What comment do you have to make to that?
That is the story I just told you about in the Volta region, the Penia constituency. That
So you're saying that they don't have a basis for doing that?
No, they don't have a basis. Ask them how they found out that they are Togolese. And the story continues to say, okay, well, I know that how they found out or they thought they were Togolese is just because they spoke French to them and they replied. Do you know the number of Ewes in Ghana who even live in Accra who can speak French? And the fact that French is very common in our country, because we are surrounded by French-speaking countries. So you speak French to somebody because the person lives in Volta region. You speak French to the person and you think that the person has crossed the border. What happened to securing the border from foreigners from entering? You understand? So I just don't understand. That is what they did.
Okay, let me bring Loratu in. Loratu.
Yes, David.
So
Yes.
So what do you make of what is going on now? Jafar is saying clearly that there is an agenda. Your government has pushed this agenda, and the fact that they even have reports and evidence that people who speak French are being targeted is clearly an ethnocentric agenda to limit the number of people in the Volta region or airways in general from registering.
Yes, David, good morning once again, and good morning to our viewers, and good morning to Jifa. It's interesting to know, but before I even go on, it's amazing how a government that put us through unemployment for graduates, put us through doing so, saddled us with IMF that caused freeze on unemployment, had the highest deficit among other issues. Really wants to go the ethnocentric way, the tribal way, with a government that has policies that touch on every region in this country. A government led by a leader who has brought in ambulances for every constituency in this nation. A government that is led by a leader who is bold enough to implement free SHS that touches every child in this country at that level. A government that is bold enough led by a leader that is bold enough to institute 1D, 1F to secure the future of these young people being trained. A government that is bold enough and led by a leader who believes in Ghana, who knows we can take our own destiny into our own hands. I mean, it's amazing for the NDC to be ascribing some of these things to His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. What are we talking about here? We all know the era we live in now. We are saddled with COVID-19 and its attendant issues. The borders were closed way before registration started. Even before that, from the briefing the defense minister gave a couple of weeks back in the height of all these allegations, even before that, there were some security issues at our borders, and the military was sent in to back up the other security agencies. So what are we talking about? Why is it that it's only the NDC that sees and propagates all these divisive things? Why is it that it's only the NDC that gets access to some of all these videos? Why is it that it's the NDC that will always bring up videos?
Are you saying the videos are not authentic?
Let's even go to the video she made particular reference to. That's with the General Secretary of the NDC, Stacey Edwin Ketia at Banda. When the issue started happening in Banda, it was condemned by all because unfortunately we had someone losing their life. So the Regional Security Council for Bono region went into it. And the two main parties were made to sign an agreement. And among other things in the agreement was the fact that there will be no busing of people into registration centers. And that agreement was signed by Mr. Joe Dankwa on our side and by the MP of the area, Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim. She can cross-check. So what the military was doing was implementing the agreement that the parties had signed. So if today the NDC comes out and wants to make an issue out of people being stopped based on agreement we've all signed up for, then what are we talking about? Can they be consistent for once? We all know that we're totally against this registration exercise. And unfortunately, there have been some issues in certain centers. But generally, this exercise hasn't gone the way they wanted it to go. They thought it was going to be saddled with chaos. They thought it was going to be saddled. And the police, the military, all the security agencies have been alert. The EC has been on top of their issues, kept citizens informed. Unfortunately, from the beginning of the registration, we had people massing up at centers. But today, move around most of the centers. Some centers are even recording single digits. Right. The fact that they are averse to anything that will move this country forward doesn't mean they should always be raising. What is all this tribalism and all that? As I sit here, I come from the Savannah region. Both parents come from the Savannah region. I, for one, was born in Ahafo, and I was brought up in Ashanti region. So if at the end of the day, we go to boarding schools, we go to schools, we work with people from different sections of the country, we only have one Ghana. With people coming in, it was made categorically clear that our borders have been closed. And even in one of the updates of the president, he mentioned how Ghanaians are allowing citizens through unapproved routes to come. These places have been secured. Not because anybody wants to prevent anyone necessarily from coming in here, but we also need to keep the country safe in the wake of COVID. If they don't know, they should realize that COVID is real and we need to keep our nation safe. So if there are people that ensure it, and arrangements are being made by Ghanaians who are stranded in other nations to come in. So if they think they have anybody who wants to come in, they should go through the approved channel. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is leading that. We've had people come in and still coming in based on these arrangements. They come in, they undergo the 14-day quarantine, they are tested before they are allowed into the nation. So we know that we are not further importing this. So to reduce all this, what is it about the Volta region? Why? Why do you always want to segregate? Why do you always want to divide? What is it? At the end of the day, it's one Ghana.
Yeah,
we're citizens of this country that we cherish. Can we stop all these divisive tactics and focus on building a nation?
Yeah, Loratu.
At the end of the day,
let me ask you something.
Yes, David.
Yeah, so you refer to the military, engaging in making sure that things are done properly and civil obedience is maintained and all of that. Is that not the job of the police? Why do the military have to come in? Because again, we have a history with military in this country, and quite a number of people understandably will become a little nervous when they see soldiers armed to the teeth in the streets.
David, this question you are asking me is akin to you asking me why the immigration, the prisons, and all the other security agencies that have been drawn into making sure this election process is successful.
No, it's not akin to that at all.
If we want to,
it's not akin to that at all, because
David,
the military
want to limit it to just the police. You are saying, what isn't that the work of the police, David?
Yeah.
You know what our numbers are. You know what the ratio of police to a citizen are. You know what the accepted standards are. I don't have the figures readily available. I would have given them to you. But at the end of the day, the fact that we are having registration doesn't mean every other peacekeeping process within the nation comes to a halt. Even if we decide to draw every single policeman to the various centers, we still won't have enough to secure the kind of peace we want.
No problem. My issue is more with
other security agencies.
My issue is more with the arms. No. It's a fair question to ask, because my issue is more with the intimidating look of things. You see, because again, that's a cause for concern. Or you don't think so?
When you talk about intimidating look, that is conjecture. You saw the video with the General Secretary of the NDC. You saw the way the military man was talking to him. Was that any form of intimidation?
All right, okay. We'll have to take a short break. We'll be right back. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. I'll let you finish up when we come back, and then Jifa will also then comment on your observations. All right, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back. Please don't go anywhere.
Thank you, sir. Hello, my name is Samuel Ofori, a film actor and a film director. Because of the nature of my job, the taste for quality things is endless. Quality phones, quality laptops, quality TV sets. Let me show you my secret. Here is Franco Trading Enterprise. My secret for quality laptops, quality phones, quality TV sets, accessories, come on, external hard drive, pen drive, name it. For bulk purchase and retails, come to Franco Trading Enterprise, they will reduce the price for you. Franco Trading Enterprise, home quality phones.
All right, welcome back. We are having the news review here on Breakfast Daily. My name is David Kwekusechi, and my guests are Loratu Musasaka of the MPP and Jifa Tega of the NDC. We're having a conversation about the voter registration exercise, and Loratu was giving a submission before we went on the short break. So
Yes,
we will have her continue.
Yes,
Do send, keep
David,
sending your
so
messages coming
what I said
through.
was
Loratu.
it's a case of utilizing the resources we have. The police cannot do it alone. So at every point in time, they have. But if you talk about intimidation,
My question is, why are there arms?
Yeah.
Why are there arms? What's the need for guns? Yeah, what's the need for guns?
David, if you
The
tell
police
me
are not
they
armed?
cocking if you tell me they are cocking their guns and pointing at people the moment they see them, then I'll be worried. But on a normal day, I don't even see how people will mass up together to a polling station that is supposed to be in an electoral area they work in or ordinarily resident in. If I go to my village in Mpa to go and register, I don't think, worst case scenario, I should be going with probably my sisters or maybe my children to go and vote. I don't think I'll be going with a truckload of people to go and be doing that. David, let's even talk about this whole fixation about our fellow brothers and sisters in Volta region. I hope you remember when the NDC had the annual delegates conference to elect their national officer. Remember what Madame Anita Disoso said? All areas have been cleared from the national executive. This is a party that claims to love the Volta region. Why were people brought out to contest Honorable Dana Agbodapi, Kweku Anidoro, and Madame Anita Disoso herself? Currently, as we said, there are reactions pouring in from different quarters of the NDC. Most notably is Honorable Dana Agbodapi on contents of the book that has been authored by Professor Kwame Nkrumah. I mean, these are issues NDC should cut the hypocrisy and cut the double standards and speak to. We are people of one nation. Let's come together and make everything that we need to sign up for a success. They've been to court several times. We've all seen the outcome. They should just get, election is not war. It's all about making sure. Politics is not war. It's all about a matter of approach.
Thank you, Loratu. Thank you, Loratu.
Let's stick to it.
All right, okay. So you heard Loratu's comments.
Yes, David. I heard Loratu's comments. I don't even know where to start. It's so... Let me start from the last.
Okay, on the last.
That Anita Disoso mentioned that all areas have been cleared from the list. And Loratu thinks that is a strong point for the NDC, for the MPP to come and give out here. It's unfortunate that you don't even see that shows that NDC is not ethnocentric. We all know in Ghana that the NDC has a large population of Ewes and Northerners as followers. So if there is an election, we have chosen a lot of people from various tribes, and the Ewes are not really well represented like people expect, does it not show how the NDC welcomes everyone on board? Unlike what is going on in the NPP. Please, that point, she shouldn't have even mentioned it, because we are very welcoming. It is we who believe that Ghana belongs to us all, not to the Akans. And now let me go to the intimidation issue. We know that the EC is working with the police. We know they are working hand in hand. When the EC started releasing statements on how the registration was going to be handled. We know that there are policemen at every polling station. We didn't know, or we've not heard anything about army officers being there. I am asking her, she wants to tell us that the police cannot do it alone. I'm asking her, where has the EC complained that there is a shortage of policemen and that the army have taken over or should come and take over or should come and support? You know, the EC releases statements so every week, every other week, to update us on what is going on in the registration. Where did the EC say that we do not have any more police officers and the work is so much, so we are bringing in army officers? I just don't understand. She should just accept the fact that these people were sent there for a purpose. And intimidation. When I was a young girl, it's not even a young girl issue. If I see a truckload of army officers here right now, my only reaction would be like, what the hell is going on here? You understand? So if armed army officers are preventing people from coming to vote, and we have a very respectable man, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, there, together with some sub-chiefs and elders of the community, telling us and attesting to the fact that they are intimidating people, they are actually stopping people from coming to vote. You tell me that there is no intimidation. You tell me that they were just doing their job. What job? And you tell me they should raise a gun at me before I should be intimidated or before I should be scared. Is that what it is? Are we not aware that someone's looks and even someone's stature itself can be an intimidation? So I don't know where she's coming from. We have provided evidence and we keep telling you since the whole thing started. I'm surprised you are saying this has been a very, very peaceful registration and it has gone against how we thought it was. People have died. People working just by the side of the registration centers have been wrongly identified and died because of what the NPP, Akufo-Addo's led NPP, is trying to do. And you are telling me that...
Which one are you referring to?
I'm referring to what happened in the Bono region when a teacher trainee died because there was a banter between some NPP thugs and the NDC. They wrongly identified him as an NDC person. And, you know, someone fired guns and he was affected. That was about a few weeks back.
Yeah, but that's thuggery. That's not how would you link that to the government? I mean, that's thuggery.
No, I am saying that Akufo-Addo is leading the NPP. Is that wrong?
He's leading the country.
Is he not the leader of the NPP too?
No, I know that the NPP as a party has their own leadership structures.
But he is the ultimate leader of... He came to power through the ticket of the NPP. And he is the ultimate leader of NPP. Okay. I am not trying to be sarcastic or anything here. He's the ultimate leader of NPP. So if NPP is doing something wrong, it is okay to understand that he knows about it. Whether he does something about it or not, I don't even want to go there. If you want us to go there, we can, but I don't want to go there. He is the leader of NPP. You understand? So my sister here trying to tell us that there is no intimidation. There are soldiers there. There were videos. There were testimonies from people. Of course, it's so far, probably the media couldn't get there on time, but we have videos that we brought out. You are saying there is no intimidation there. I'm disappointed in her. And what she started with, I mean, you come and defend us, or come and defend your party, and you are telling us, you are deviating by telling us Akufo-Addo is what did he? She said a number of things. The man who has caused mass loss of jobs in Ghana. You are telling me that this man
based on what statistics?
Look at the banks that he collapsed.
Based on what statistics are you talking about?
There was statistics.
Yeah, I mean, you said he's caused mass loss of jobs.
I'm giving you an example, just one example. The banks that were collapsed.
Okay.
Without any proper investigation.
Fair enough. Let's stick to the voter registration exercise. I mean, we just want to wrap up on that.
Yes. Yeah. So you wouldn't come and tell me that we've been to a town and the military is frightening people who were in a bus, who were together, coming, crossing. And she asked why they were bussed. They were crossing a river. You understand? It's not as if people in Banda have the luxury of taking a canoe each. You understand? People have to organize themselves, and they crossed all the way, and you say you wouldn't let them register.
Because we're coming as a group.
They were coming as a group.
Yeah, but that doesn't even make any sense anyway. I mean, it's not
that they should come as a group.
To come as a group.
But I'm telling you that they were crossing
the river. No, I'm
just
saying that it's not a crime to come as a group.
Exactly, it's not a crime to come as a group at all.
No.
And because of that, you tell me, and the settlers there are Ewes. Their history dates back to as far back as 1919 or so. They came to settle, and is it even wrong to settle within your country? And how do you even think that just because they are, well, I don't want to go into it too much.
Thank you. All right. We'll move on to the next topic, but let me just read a few comments. Yeah, Loratu, Loratu, you'll get a chance to respond when we get into the next segment. Let me just read a few comments that have come from our viewers. Please, does it mean that no population increase is expected according to the statistics in the Volta region between 2016 and 2020? Good question there. I think that's referring to Mustafa Hamid's expectation that the 900,000 that we had in 2016 will have the same 900,000 by the end of this exercise. Good morning, Brian brother. This is not the first time we're doing registration in Ghana. Why does this government have to send military men to registration centers to intimidate citizens? What at all did the MPP government want from Voltarians? This is Kotoka Courage in Anloga in the Volta region. Even with the pictorial evidence of intimidation and suppression from Volta region and other Zongo communities around the country against people perceived to be foreigners, MPP leadership continue to deny the fact that thinking Ghanaians have no eyes to see. This is Shaggy from Nima. Toma from Mankraso says, Ghanaians must blame Jean Mensa and Nanado for all the tribal victimization, deployment of invisible forces, and military harassment and prevention of people from registering, especially at Banda. I'm not sure why you want to blame the EC and the president, but yeah. If police stations had been created for Ewes and all the settler communities in the area, this problem would have been minimal or avoided completely. Kick Nana out and regain total freedom for all Ghanaians. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so we have those messages there. The next story that we want to get into is regarding Codeo. And they're very unhappy about the abuse of the guarantor system in the registration exercise. Let me just read the story and then we'll have a conversation there. A fundamental challenge in the compilation of the new voters register is the widespread abuse of the guarantor system. The Coalition of Domestic Election Observers has observed. As the EC prepares to wrap up the exercise on Thursday, August 6, 2020, Codeo says the lack of due diligence in the application of that protocol threatens the legality of the guarantor system. Aside from the national identification card or the Ghana passport being acceptable documents for registering onto the voters register, two persons who have already been captured on the new register can vouch for others to register. Codeo, which has deployed 100 observers for the mass registration, says it is appalled by the level of abuse of this particular arrangement. The project manager at Codeo, Rhoda Osei Afo, who spoke on Eyewitness News, said, despite some other successes chalked in the exercise, the indiscriminate use of guarantors remains a major setback. One of the issues we found was the abuse of the processes. This is the first abuse of the voucher or guarantor system. The EC requires that people come to the registration center with either a Ghana card or a passport. In the absence of these two documents, people must come with two people who have already registered to guarantee for them. The expectation is that the people who are vouching for others should know such people because by vouching, they consent that one is a Ghanaian who is eligible to register. This is the expectation that the people are supposed to have to guarantee for others. In expressing shock, Rhoda Osei Afo continued by saying the silence of political parties and their agents makes the situation even more worrying. We noticed that in some instances, people were just guaranteeing for people that they didn't know from anywhere. In some instances, it was as serious that the forms had already been filled. This is not acceptable because it's a violation of the law. It makes it possible for people who are not eligible to be registered simply because someone has made his or her services available. We noted that the political parties and their agents were also comfortable with this situation. They are interested in making sure that as many people as they suspect to be comfortable with their interests are registered. This is one thing we were not quite enthused about. I'll start with you, Loratu, on this one. Yes.
Yes. Before I even go on, let me just deal with some of the issues that Jifa said. And for her to say, I find it quite preposterous for her to say she's disappointed in me. As what?
As a parent.
Let's take to facts, right? If she sits down there and asks, did the police say this? Very ignorant way of approaching these issues, because the whole EC process is that probably because they boycotted some IPAC meetings, they don't know how these things are done. But it's not at the center that the EC goes to ask for security. They plan it with the security agencies. They plan it with the police being the lead. Then they draw in the numbers they require for the other security agencies to augment their numbers. Life in the country doesn't have to come to a halt because we are having a registration exercise led by a team that is capable of making sure it's a success. It's not a perfect situation, and we all know that anything being handled by human beings is obviously not because we are not like God. Issues will come up, but how we deal with the issues is what makes the difference. The EC has been on top of this, and don't let us reduce some of these things to conjecture.
Please comment on the guarantor system
because
and
of
Codeo.
that. David, with a bit about Codeo's observation, for some of these things, I know for us at yesterday, the highest form of identification for registration was 58.8% for the Ghana card. And we had the guarantors moving around a little over 39%, and we had the passports moving close to 2%. But with their observation, I believe that, they will need to probably engage the EC, because I know a number of times the EC has come out to detail what the processes should be. Once the person has a Ghana card or has a passport, goes through the process and can guarantee for any other person that doesn't have the Ghana card or the passport. I think at the point some people decided to commercialize it, and EC came out strongly to deter people from it. And over the time, throughout this process, they've been very engaging with their citizenry on the do's and don'ts, what to do and not. They've come out strongly to condemn things that shouldn't be, and directed the citizens as to what they are supposed to follow. It's unfortunate that in certain places, things are being abused. And I know that all these things informed the capping of the number of persons any individual can guarantee for. which is a maximum of 10. And also having 2 people having to guarantee for each person. So if some of these things are coming up, I always say this is all part of a collective multi-stakeholder approach to doing things. CODE is a major stakeholder in our election process, and the observations I'm sure they'll share with the EC, and with what the EC has been doing over time, I'm sure they'll find ways of addressing it. But as individuals and as citizens too, we should also insist, because I know our agents are quite alert at the centers and they make sure some of these things don't go unnoticed. Even situations where our agents have picked some of these things up and we engage with the.
Well, Codeo seems to feel that the political parties are actually quite comfortable with the situation.
Oh, I mean, that would be, well, for our side, I don't think we allow some of those things. We are a party that is deep-rooted in rule of law, and we make sure that.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, along the way.
No, we have to move on.
Of some that are off, but I think generally, from my research and with the party, we insist on things being done the right way.
Okay, all right. Jiva?
Yeah, David.
Yes.
On this issue that Codeo is mentioning, unfortunately, they are not the EC, so I cannot even blame them. But I think that I have heard it, and I can't say they're lying. In fact, it might be true that people are abusing the guarantor system.
I actually found myself at a registration center where one person had just finished registering and was about to leave, and one of the people at the desks, said, "Oh, please wait. This person needs a guarantor."
And guarantee.
And I thought it was really weird because it's like, why? I don't even know you.
That means an EC official. Yes, that's
anyway,
why I'm saying that it might actually be true. But why do we say this? Let's be sincere. How many people outside Accra and Kumasi have passports? Those living in the rural areas. It's a rhetorical question. And then the Ghana card is still in registration. A lot of people haven't even done it. Now, the EC, before starting the registration, told us that there was no way we can accept birth certificate. There was no way that we could accept the previous voter ID card. And as for the Ghana identification card, it's out of the system. I mean, all these ID cards had been thrown off.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, David, if you'll be sincere with me, I'm sure you also know a lot of people who do not have the passport and may not even have the Ghana card yet.
No, but the passport is not, I mean, it's not even any arguable. You can't argue with it.
Yes, because it's very obvious, exactly. And the Ghana ID, the Ghana card, I mean, the process of all Ghanaians having eligible Ghanaians having their card is not even done yet. There are some places who are still doing Ghana card. What would you tell an individual that you've lived with, or you probably haven't lived with, but trust me, when you see a Ghanaian, you know that it is very likely this is a Ghanaian, unless of course he has stayed in Ghana for several years, probably over 20 years. You see the person, and the person came alone without family and says, I want to register, I don't have any of these cards, help me guarantee. That is how it started. That is how it started from the first week of registration. So it becomes so normal because the options that you've given us are too minimal. Already, we can't even argue about the passport issue. And the Ghana card is a new card that was registered. Hasn't even been, the exercise hasn't even been finished. These are the two. The options are very minimal. There are a lot of Ghanaians who do not have these two. When we send this issue to court, someone will say that we like going to court. But it's just because we respect the law. We think we should give it to the ultimate and then they will decide. So from the first week, we started seeing a lot of these stories or these issues. And then people were helping like themselves, each other. And then it becomes a norm by the fourth week. Because let's help. And I read that that release. Rhoda said that in some parts, even the forms are already filled. I have gone to a lot of the centers. My grandmother doesn't speak English. She can't even write in the first place. Someone will fill the form for her. You understand? Someone would even have to ask her, what is your mother's name, before she enters the form. So
someone who's registering for the first time?
Anyone. Okay. It could be someone who is registering, but at the center, you could find, if you go to a rural area, the number of educated people or literate might not be a lot.
But the EC is actually filling the forms for everybody. They don't let you fill the forms at all.
What is it? The guarantor form?
Both guarantor forms and the main form.
The main forms, I have seen all the centers that I have gone to, the EC will not fill it for you.
Okay, so I have guaranteed for 2 people. Okay, yesterday I guaranteed, the day before I guaranteed. And in both instances, the EC takes the form, they fill it themselves, they ask your details. The only thing they ask you to do is a thumbprint or sign.
Then they should.
So I've done that twice.
Well, they should back up, because I have been. I'm always at the centers. At least I'm at 2 centers in every week, and I have never seen an EC person filling the form. They fill the main form, but the guarantor form, it feels like too much work, especially in areas where you have a lot of people leaning on the guarantor form.
Let's wrap up on this one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So quickly, just a quick comment. Loratu, the Kafaba case, the priestess, the 40-year-old priestess, Sherina Mohammed, who masterminded the lynching of Ekuya Dente, is being arraigned before court. Quick comment before we leave.
Yeah, David, the Kafaba issue is quite unfortunate, and for someone who hails from that region, it was quite a difficult one for us. But thankfully, we need to make this the source of deterrence to other people. There were a lot of comments that were made from the beginning, but those of us who are quite close to the authorities knew what the efforts that were being put in to make sure the people who perpetrated this heinous crime were brought to book. So if she's been arraigned before court, I believe justice will be served. But this is a wake-up call to all of us. Mob justice and all these forms of instant justice is something that belongs to the Stone Ages, and we should all do away with it. I'm so big that even angers me is those who looked on, videoed it, and saw the woman die before them. We all need to be responsible citizens and be each other's keeper.
Thank you very much.
When we find something going wrong, like His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has admonished, let's be citizens and not be spectators.
Thank you very much, Loratu.
Wait for the mistakes to be made before we start crying.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. And yes, final comments, please.
Yeah. So I think I am happy that these people, the suspected people, were arrested quite early enough. And the only comment I want to add to this is that after their sentence, it should be announced well, especially to places who still practice witch hunts. It should be announced well to serve as a deterrent. And I am not a judge, but I hope the sentence is quite harsh, so that a lot of people will realize that you would be better off sitting in your home, not bothering anyone, than going to lynch someone you suspect to be a witch. So that's but David, let me just add one last thing. Tomorrow is the last day for registration. A lot of trust me when I say I have a lot of NDC friends who are disturbed by the things that are going on, whether people will accept it or not. I am encouraging everyone who hasn't voted to go out, be courageous.
Who hasn't registered?
Sorry, who hasn't registered? To go out and be courageous and vote. And register. And they shouldn't feel anything. We are behind them solidly.
All right. Okay. So we've been. My guests were Jifa Tega of the NDC and Loratu Musasaka of the MPP. Thank you very much to you, my guest, and also thank you very much to viewers for watching this segment of the show. We're coming back with the next segment. Consumer Tech, Philip Kofi Ashong will be joining us, and we'll be discussing techie gadgets in your vehicles. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
There is no promise we cannot keep. There is no commitment we cannot honor. There is no delivery we cannot guarantee. There is only one Bethel Logistics Company Limited, a licensed international freight forwarding and clearing agent, a trusted global brand with an extensive network for the movement of air freight and ocean freight worldwide. We are the trusted name for road freight into Western and Northern Africa. We are fully accredited by Ghana Customs and Excise. We cater for all your freight forwarding, customs clearing and forwarding, cross trades, inland transportation, internal cargo tracking systems, customer freight costing and consultancy, cold chain logistics management, logistics and warehousing, quality inspection, and much more. In Accra, Tema, and Takrady, we are always available to ensure easy movement of cargo countrywide. Call us on 0204 528 900 or 0244 707 859. Email info@bethellogistics.com. Locate us in Accra at North Ridge, adjacent Accra Girls High School, or in Tema at Community 4, or in Takrady on the second floor of the GCB building. Website bethellogistics.com. Bethlog, experts in shipping logistics.
Precision, style, class, execution, talent. Congratulations to the top 20 contestants that made it to the main audition for Keyboard Idol. The question is, which of these 20 talents will be in the top 10 and ultimately become the Keyboard Idol? Catch the Keyboard Idol every Saturday at 7 p.m. only on City TV. Tune in to City TV and follow the conversation using the hashtag Keyboard Idol for updates or visit citytvonline.com. This amazing talent competition is sponsored by Asanka, powered by Tech Aid, and Santol Energy. Keyboard Idol is powered by City TV. The quest to find a keyboard superstar starts now.
There are those with untold stories, unraveled feats, life-changing stories, and lasting legacies. They tell their stories themselves on footprints.
I didn't hear let him go. I heard come and take him. They took me to another room. There was this muscle man with the cane ready. Guam 12 canes. Then I told myself I won't yield. So I kept my teeth together. Pow, pow. I mean, heavy canes.
Lecturer at KNUST.
Lecturer, very popular lecturer, based in KNUST, being whipped by heart by a soldier who, you know.
Be inspired by their hard work and resilience that led to their outstanding achievements as we trace their footsteps through time.
But I was able to set a record at Apollo.
Wow!
Because Apollo is a place that, you know, it's not only one act.
Yeah, of course.
So when you perform one song, you need to leave for the next act to come. I was able to do 2 songs at a go.
Wow.
Because when I was performing, all of a sudden, about 3 African-American girls, they jump on the stage, started to do my songwriting thing with me. Then the whole, hey, everybody, hey. Then when we finished the music, then I said, do you want more? They went, yeah. Then I looked at the face of the promoter. He couldn't do nothing. He said, okay, go ahead. You know, then I put in the Sumgodu, because my first what I did was this song that you hear at Brentse. That's what I did. After that, I put in the Sumgodu. Man.
So join me, Samuel Atamensa, and my guests every Saturday at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m. for Footprints, only on City TV.
Footprint is sponsored by Bethel Logistics Company Limited, experts in shipping logistics.
respect of your greatness, we bow down in peace for the world you have created. Oh woman, sheroes of our time, we bow down in respect of your greatness. You are the riddle the world is still solving but haven't gotten an answer to. Though society instills fear in you just to make you draw back into your shell like a snapping turtle, or crawl back just to develop at the snail's pace. But you never give up. Sheroes of our time, they cage your freedom like a bird, yet you still gallop over strictures to still make the world a happy place. We cannot forget Yaa Santua, who used their feminine boldness to fight for freedom for her kingdom. We cannot forget Maya Angelou, who was sexually tortured, yet she retained great resilience and exceptional brilliance to inspire her generation and generations after hers. Chimamanda Adichie, Ama Taido, Malala, Ilhan Umar, the great enigma of ages, were born tellers of their own tales. They stumbled, but transformed their pains and suffering into strength and wisdom. They refused to be navigated by fear and doubt. They saw with ambitions to sprinkling compassions on earth. Ina rusuna magirmanku, ina rusuna a cikin kwanciya hankali, maduniya da gaisuwa kuka gara, ina rusuna da gaisuwa mamayan mata. An duniya bjaram zira, an duniya dunyal benchara, an duniya yiltam fule, wahala zirbila am kwabga, pavan da zingare, fara cetang no kwang yilcharle, ka ginda bwarla paabishi, wahala cheyil no kwang wanzirle, ka ginda bwarla paabishi, ka malmal tile pshana, ka biya nirabasum da paaba. Na un cheltang ban ka tampima tampawuni. Paawun wa'adin yalam mini de bjare, sahapa kana, niti yi isi zani, inchi an dunya tuun talni, kachin tu kutafakar no wahalala, nayin malagana, mbwati jilma zo'o, dama, paakang male, paaka zang bu'si, paajin malpi, paanyala nao mpini. Thank you.
If you can get all the understanding on some of the difficult subjects you struggle with in school. As a student, do you feel dissatisfied with how hard it is to figure out the subject you're learning? Or as a parent or guardian, do you worry that your child is struggling to understand some of the subjects in school? Well, now you don't need to sign up for extra lessons or tutors. Simply tune in to Class Act, Mondays to Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. on City TV. Class Act is a show that seeks to enable senior high school students gain a much better understanding of what they learn in school. All you need is a TV, a chair, your notebook, and your pen. Get clarity on subjects such as maths, English, IT, and science. Class Act airs every Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. on City TV, on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. Don't forget your pens, pencils, and your notebooks, and tune in to Class Act, only on City TV.
Yeah, welcome back. It's time for us to talk consumer tech. And a consumer tech segment today, we're going to be discussing tech in auto. So we're looking at your vehicles, you know, and all the fancy technology that's available in your vehicles. And basically, what are some of the changes? What are some of the new things that are coming in, and so on and so forth? So Philip Kofi Strong has joined us. He's the a host of City Trends on City 97.3 FM, and also the head of production here at City TV. Good morning, Philip.
Well, good morning.
How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing pretty good.
All right.
Cars.
Yes.
They are, a guy's favorite little toy.
Absolutely.
Every guy I know has a love for one vehicle or the other.
Yeah.
And every year or every couple of months, there's one innovation or the other. And sometimes we can genuinely get overwhelmed, by the kind of tech that we see in the cars.
Yeah.
But there are some that are relatively available today that I think a lot of people overlook. And I just wanted us to look at a couple of them. So the first one is something interesting called gesture control. It's in quite a number of vehicles, a lot of concept vehicles, and it's an example that we're going to show you from Volkswagen.
Okay.
So we're going to show you a quick video from Volkswagen, and just check it out. Just check out what gesture control from Volkswagen actually looks like, and what your vehicles could be having in a couple of months. Check it out. That will understand your gestures. So check it out. He's going to reduce the volume by just sliding his hand across the screen. He wants to open the sunroof. It's just a gesture. I wish you stopped it as well.
Okay.
Changing the color is just one finger slip away, and that's it. Like, it's literally that simple.
Wow.
So these are just examples of what is possible. The point that you can control volume control, you can change from sat nav to FM or whichever. If you want to pull up the sunroof or you want to pull it back down, all you need to do is just one swipe and you're good to go.
Wow.
And it's that incredible. A couple of weeks ago, when we were having a conversation about the announcements made by Apple, one of the key things that came up, for example, was the issue of keyless entry.
Okay.
And also being able to use your smartphone to unlock your car and act as a key. And that's one of the new innovations as well. A lot of people have keyless entry, where the key can be on your body or in your bag, and once you are within a certain distance from your vehicle, you can either press a button and get access to your car. Now the next phase is that the key is connected to your phone, so you don't necessarily need to carry your car key with you.
Wow.
Your phone becomes your car key.
Okay.
And what's interesting about it is you can actually share rights to your car. So for example, if yourself and your wife are at home and you want to, your wife wants to go out with the car, but you can't find the key, you can actually share the rights
to the car
with your wife.
Yeah.
Or for example, your kids want to take your car out. Okay, but we don't want them to go beyond a certain distance. So you can actually map out where they can and where they can't go, such that you get a notification when they try to move outside of the zone that you've located.
Okay.
And I mean, this is what is possible. I mean, those days, if you just have a car key, someone takes it out, you don't know where they've been to.
Yeah, no,
but with
it's
this,
gone.
you can monitor where the car has been to. You can allocate certain rights to them, what they can do, what they can't do. And the possibilities are endless, really.
Yeah.
But apart from these two, one other thing that seems to be coming up a lot is self-driving vehicles. And there's an example by Mercedes-Benz. We're going to show you the video in just a bit. So you can go ahead. This is the video from Mercedes-Benz. So this is typical day traffic, whichever. Now, Mercedes-Benz and quite a number of vehicles actually have gotten to the point where they have all these, self-driving vehicles. Tesla, for example, because of the electric vehicles and because of all the innovation, has been a market leader in that. This is an example from Mercedes-Benz where it's just a click away, you basically get access to having this vehicle move around on the streets and do basically, the navigation for you. It knows the streets, as you can see on the screen there. It knows where the traffic points are likely to be. There are obvious conversations about what it will do when it gets into an intersection. It would do what we call a communication with other vehicles. And just to add to this is why 5G technology is so important. Because 5G technology allows very high speed interaction over a network. And so, for example, two vehicles, getting to an intersection can speak to each other very quickly, and then one knows that, okay, so you are supposed to move first before you got, because I got to the junction late or something like that. And that sort of communication can happen. So she's driving, for example, along a street, someone wants to veer into her lane, the communication between the vehicles must be so quick that, one will be able to detect that, no, there's something happening. All these, as you saw there, are just sensors. These sensors are constantly learning about your driving habits, B, about the traffic, what is happening around you, because now most vehicles have like 360 cameras, which are able to see literally around the whole vehicle. And so with all these sensors and all these cameras, the vehicle is able to tell, for example, give you a warning, someone is coming through the right, give you a warning, someone is coming from behind you, and all manner of things. And so this vehicle, this Mercedes-Benz, basically is driving autonomous, and that is what is possible today. With all the sensors and all the gadgets woven into it, it's able to do all of that. All of this data is literally running from the vehicle. It's and it's incredible. And this is, for example, a classic example why 5G is such an important conversation to have, because then it allows quick communication between devices and vehicles like this, it's remarkable what will be possible. One of the other things that we saw a couple of minutes ago were the parking cameras. So you have all these cameras on the sides of the vehicle. I'm sure you've seen it in a number of vehicles popping out from the side mirrors and things like that. All of these are supposed to help you park your vehicle. So when you sit in a vehicle and you put it in reverse, or you're trying to do whatever, it's able to see around, things that you possibly can't see if you look
in your blind spot.
on your blind spot. So all of these cameras are positioned in such a way that it makes it easier for you as a driver to get the very best of your vehicle and enjoy the vehicle as possible. I don't want to get into the entertainment options that are available in the vehicles, because those ones will never stop. But these are just a couple of them. One of the other things also that is coming up regularly is augmented reality and how it's woven into the use of the vehicle. The VW vehicles, for example, that were assembled in Ghana, recently launched. I believe that Tiguan, for example, and quite a number of them have augmented reality in a certain way woven into the vehicle. So you have a heads-up display, and so, for example, you want to navigate yourself from here to Dodua. Typically, you would have your phone in a holder on the phone, in the car. Now, what you have is a heads-up display, which is like something really small. It's literally there in front of you, and it basically shows you where you're supposed to go without having to look. It's literally right in front of you. There's an example, an augmented reality app. We have a quick video of that, so I'll just walk you guys through it. So this is something put together by Hyundai. This is one bit of it. So you have yourself at home, you have a little issue, you don't know where the problem is coming from. This augmented reality app basically scans your vehicle and shows you what you're supposed to do. So sometimes you have a vehicle and some lights is on and you don't know what the light is about. You basically take the app, it basically scans your vehicle or scans whichever section you want to view, and it tells you, okay, so this is what is wrong or that is what is wrong. You saw in the beginning that she's scanning the engine. It basically shows if there's a change that she's supposed to make. It shows her what she's supposed to do, and it's really that simple. Sometimes you might need to go to a mechanic because of the severity of the situation, but they're very simple things that you can do at home, and you don't need anybody else to help you do it, because the app, as you can see there, basically allows you to do that. So that's one of the things. So this is one use of augmented reality. Another use, for example, is the heads-up display in a lot of vehicles that I'm sure if you are able to afford one of the VW vehicles, you get a taste of. But a lot of vehicles today have that, and it's a very interesting use of technology in vehicles that we are seeing come up today. One other thing is also called the car to X command. So let's say you are on Debris Road, and a couple of meters away, 300, 500 meters away, there is a breakdown of all sorts of vehicles. Typically, in Ghana, you would have people putting leaves and things in place.
Try and warn people.
They don't even have triangles. Now, what this new technology does is, if there is a problem somewhere, either the police are there or another vehicle owner, once there's a problem, a signal is sent to you, who is probably either in the network or has access to the information, and you'll be able to tell, okay, so 500 meters away there's a problem, and you get it almost like a text message or a notification in your vehicle, and that's what you can see there. So the report is being sent to this vehicle, and this vehicle has currently been notified that there's a problem a few meters ahead, and so the car basically adjusts itself because it knows where the problem is. And as you can see there, the map there shows you where the problem is. So even as you're driving, you are notified in real time that there's a problem. And there are so many ways this thing can be used. I mean, we've seen this sort of, for people who use the Waze app, for example, it sort of acts like that. You know, the Waze app basically requires that people update the app so that you know that something is happening ahead of you. This one, it is generated, you know, literally from the car, you know, and then it's sent to your car, and you receive the notification, and you're good to go. So that's one of the other things. There's also, of course, augmented reality driving enhancing as well, which I talked about, the heads-up display that you see in your vehicle, and quite a number of things that's happened. And we're going to see an example of the heads-up display here in just a bit. But basically what we're saying is these are new innovations that are coming up, making the driving experience much better, making the driving experience much safer for a number of people. And these are just 3 options that you have with augmented reality. So you're going to see the navigation example in just a bit, where the heads-up display, as you can see there, and it's showing you how long you have to go. It's showing you where you're supposed to do your turns, and it's right there in front of you. You don't need to.
It's not a screen per se.
No. It's on your windscreen. It's just projected onto your windscreen, and you'll be able to see where you're going. You know, and as you can see, that the arrow is telling you which direction you're supposed to go in. You know, so it's incredible. It's really incredible. And these are things, and you can see that. You can see that it's showing you. It's showing you, you know, the distance between yourself and the vehicle in front of you, just in case. It can adapt itself. You know, as you can see there, it's able to read, you know, vehicles ahead of you, where they are turning potentially, where they will be turning potentially. And once again, I just have to say that this is why 5G is important, because the communication between the vehicles must be literally instant for you to be able to get access to all of these added features. I mean, apart from all of this, you know, one of the other things that's also coming up very prominently are softwares that are baked into most of our vehicles. So you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, for example. So if I sit in my vehicle and have an iPhone, the entertainment system basically connects to my phone. If I have an Android device and I have, you know, Android Auto, it basically connects. I can access anything I want from my phone right there on the dashboard. If I get a phone call, I'll see the name. I can literally transact whatever sort of business I would typically have done on my phone right there on the steering wheel or through the entertainment system. And these are just new technologies that we're seeing every day. They come up all the time. There are new innovations every time. It's not everything that will necessarily work in Ghana, obviously, because of, you know, but it's nice to know that these are possibilities, these are things that are happening, and these are things that we can look forward to. And that's why I feel it's important that we invest more in getting some of these manufacturers come set up shop in Ghana and, you know, basically manufacture vehicles that fit our climate as well, while also giving us a sense of, you know, what is possible and the new technologies available.
Super. And just quickly before you leave us, how long before we see some of these?
Most of these are
commercial.
Most of these are commercial.
They're already commercial.
Most of the technologies that we watch today are commercial. It's just that, you know, it's not on a very large scale. I mean, things like augmented reality in your vehicle, helping you doing the navigation, is already a reality. We are seeing it today. Yes, self-driving vehicles are very limited, but then Tesla is already doing it in the US. So Tesla 3, like so many Tesla vehicles are autonomous, they can drive by themselves. There's so many other examples that you can see. Most of these are available commercially. It's just that it's not on a very wide scale, depending on the country, depending on the restrictions for automakers in those countries. So those are the only limiting factors. But it's clear that we are moving in a certain direction. For example, electric vehicles. It's everywhere, but then obviously, you know, the pricing and the spare parts availability, etc., are the only things that really limit you. So it's work in progress.
Base and all those things that you
it's work in progress. I can't wait to see electric vehicles being used prominently in Ghana. But then the the infrastructure needs to be put in place.
Yeah,
the charging
absolutely.
ports need to be everywhere,
Yeah.
you know, and there needs to be a proper business case for it before there can be a proper rollout.
Super. Thank you very much, Philip. It's been fantastic. It's been very insightful. Now, I have a reason to buy a brand new car.
Yes, you do.
All right.
Yes, you do.
We've been talking with Philip Kofi Shaw, who is the head of production here at City TV and also the host of City Trends. A fantastic conversation there. We have entertainment highlights. Take a look, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Ato Kwamina. Efia has responded to Prophet Nigel Gaze's prophecy that she needs to see a man of God immediately. The leader of the Prophetic Hill Chapel disclosed that he had a worrying vision and the Ghanaian singer must urgently see a man of God to overturn. In response, Efia took to social media to denounce that she will not die. The singer did not just say it by word of mouth, but she also took it into prayer with her family and shared moments of their prayer session on Instagram Live. Ghanaian stand-up comedian and television presenter Foster Romanus has said that he hasn't earned much from his craft. In an interview with blogger Xylon Felix, a comic actor stated that it's been a long time he has performed at a show. He added that he is not rich like Obi Amponsa, Clemento Suarez, DKB, and the others who are making quite some money from the trade. Foster Romanus also revealed that at his age, his parents still take care of him. Nigerian music sensation Flavour has allegedly paid the bride price for his first baby mama and former beauty queen Sandra Akabue. Information says that the event, which was secret, was held a few days ago at the bride's family house in Onitsha, Anambra State. Sandra and Flavour have 2 daughters together and were rumored to have secretly wedded back in 2017. However, Flavour is still seen hanging out with his second baby mama, ex-beauty queen Anna Barner. And that's all for Entertainment Highlights for Breakfast Daily. My name is Ato Kwamina.
Stated that the business partners paid back monies to anybody in the NDC. Nowhere is it stated that kickbacks were taken by anybody in this country.
Tune in to The Point of View this and every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. as I, Bernard Avile, get the right guests, ask them relevant questions on issues that matter to you.
If you are diagnosed as having COVID-19, we usually recommend that you are in hospital. Therefore, you are being monitored as you are being given your medication. All your adverse events that you could get are also recorded, and the Food and Drugs Authority Safety Monitoring Department is monitoring these adverse events. So on a daily basis, we call all the treatment centers to find out if they've had any adverse events.
I can be in ministry and I can make money. I can be in ministry and I can ride big cars. So quickly they started running into ministry. They go and hide somewhere and then pray small. When they dream and they have some small visions, they come out and they said, Onyamia Fremi, God has called me. And then they start wildly. Their theology is bad. Their behavioral ethics poor. Their understanding of spiritual matters weak.
Remember, The Point of View is live every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. only on City TV.
Point of View is powered by Airtel Tigo Extra. Even our bonus data doesn't expire. You the film? Dial *111# to activate now. Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Welcome back. It is Breakfast Daily on City TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. And this is the Hello, Mr. President segment of the show where we focus on problems you're facing in your community and also asking policymakers why they've not fixed those problems for you. Again, if you've not yet sent us your videos, just take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video and send it to us. The email is hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. You can also WhatsApp it to us at 0550585832. And throughout this segment, if we discuss topics that you are facing in your community as well, you can use the hashtag Breakfast Daily for us to know how the problems you're discussing differ from what you're experiencing, as well as send us messages through our WhatsApp line 0550585832. We'll take a look at the first message we received.
Congratulating the President for catering for our light and water bills for the rest of the year. It's quite unfortunate that our taps do not flow frequently. It flows once in a week. However, with this COVID-19 precautionary measures, we are supposed to wash our hands with the running water. But here lies the case, we don't have the taps flowing. We don't have any running water to wash our hands. However, how do we abide by this coronavirus measures? So I plead with the government, if there is anything he can do to help us with our taps flowing each and every day, we'll be very happy. Thank you.
So from the very early days in March, when we recorded our first few cases of coronavirus in this country, the president informed us that we need to stay clean. And part of staying clean is having access to running water to ensure that you wash your hands with clean running water and soap. Part of the measures the government put in place was to ensure that we get free access to water so that we have no excuse to say, because we didn't have running water, we did not wash our hands, and so we've spread the virus. Now, the problem a lot of people are facing in this country is, since this free water initiative started, many communities have not had access to water. So how exactly do we clean our hands? How exactly do we stay clean as a people if we don't have access to running water? Ghana Company Limited has issued several statements saying they are working on it week in, week out. We hear stories of people having to pay more money than they were paying before this free water initiative started to ensure they have access to water. And water is a basic necessity. You need water to cook. You need water to drink. You need water to wash your hands. So when people don't have access to water, how exactly are they supposed to function? How are they supposed to comply by the protocols? So we're going to get in touch with the head of PRO at the Ghana Water Company Limited, Mr. Stanley Marte, and he will let us know exactly what has been happening since March this year that is contributing to Ghanaians not getting access to constant running water. And if communities don't have constant running water, how exactly do we expect the Ghanaian citizenry to be able to wash their hands? Now, if you're experiencing a similar problem in your community, if you've not had water, consistent flow of water since March, please let us know the exact community you are in, the kind of frustrations you're experiencing. Send it to us. Our hashtag again is Breakfast Daily, and our WhatsApp line is 0550585832. I'm going to check if Mr. Stanley Marte is on the line with us now. Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, thank you. How are you?
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm fine. We've received messages from some of our viewers, and this specific person lives in La, that they've not had constant running water for months. Can you please explain to us what exactly is going on?
Okay, thank you very much. I think for a very long time, we've been talking about the water challenges we need a system. And for most areas, do not have constant flow of water. And there are a number of reasons to that. One, there's a serious gap between demand and supply. So, for instance, the demand for water far outstrips our production or the production for the three treatment plants that serve the greater Accra region. So obviously we can't get water flowing to every part of the country or every part of the region 24/7. So it's one of the major reasons. The other reason is that most of our pipelines are quite old. Okay, so every time there are high pressures, some of them keep going, and we need to isolate those areas and then have them repaired because we can't repair the lines while water is flowing through. Okay. Now the other aspect is that because of the difference between the demand and supply, we have to do water demand management within the system, such that we serve some areas for 3 or 4 days, and then some other areas around that time will be isolated, and then we isolate the first area and then we serve the second area. So for instance, area B gets water like 3 or 4 days, and then we isolate them, and then area A also gets another 3 or 4 days, and then area C also gets another 3 or 4 days. So averagely, every area gets water like averagely it's like 4 days. Okay, so yes, it's a fact that there isn't constant flow of water in all areas in Accra, and I think we all know this because we've been so for a very long time. The only way we can bridge this gap is to expand our treatment plants. So we need to expand Riga, we need to expand Sound, and there are plans for that expansion. For instance, the Pond phase 2, after the China Disease project, is being worked out so that at least that project can also begin. Then we can have some more water into the system. There are also plans to expand Riga, and so when those ones are done, then we can bridge the gap between demand and supply within the greater Accra region. But until it is done, we need to manage the system as it is at the moment.
Okay, so let's zone in now to a community like La, where perhaps maybe someone, when the water was running constantly and we're not getting free water from government, let's say for instance someone was paying 10-20 cedis a month. Now they don't have constant running water. When the water tankers come, they charge them. We've heard stories of people paying 3 to 4 times more to get water from water tankers than when government decided to offer us free water. Is there any solution in the interim to ensure that people in these communities will have access? Because the reason why we are even providing the free water in the first place is to ensure that they are able to comply by the COVID-19 protocols and stay safe. But if they don't have constant access to water, what are they supposed to do?
Okay, so to solve some of these challenges, we mounted over 700 water tanks within in the whole country, and La wasn't an exception. The La also had some polytanks mounted in that area. We are serving those polytanks with tankers so that the people could go there to fetch for free. Now the challenge in La is because of its location, such that it lies at the end of all the distribution links, and so we have that challenge. And so everything is being done so that they could have they could have enough water flow to the community. So as of now, we are doing our best. We are serving them through the vat tankers. We are serving them through the pipelines. But there's some rationing going on. So obviously, some areas wouldn't get water at certain periods. But we know that the water we serve that area should be enough if we are storing the water. Okay, so we are encouraging everybody that store water whilst water is flowing. So the events where water isn't flowing, then you can resort to your storage. But if you want to depend on water flowing through the tap all the time, that would be a bit difficult. And for a very long time, we've been doing this education. So I'll be surprised if there are people in that area who are so dependent directly on depending on water directly from the tap all the time.
Yeah, but you do need water from the tap, right? And so is there a kind of schedule that you have available so people know that, okay, we will cut your water Wednesdays and Fridays, and the rest of the week you have running water, so they know that, okay, this is what we have for this community, and this is how we can also meet Ghana Water Company Limited halfway?
Yeah, yes, I mean, this information is out there, and they are all aware of the programs in that area, so they know when exactly they are supposed to get water.
Okay, is it possible to repeat it for us? Okay, you don't have, because they are watching and they would have.
I don't have the schedule because I can't speak to it now, but they are all aware because it's not just a week or it's not something that started a week or two. It's been there for a while, so they are all aware.
Okay,
and they are aware that. The water that will flow constantly. That is why we keep encouraging them to store water whilst water is flowing. We are also doing our best with the poly water tanks that we've mounted in the area, and our expectation is that people will go there to fetch water when they need it. But then they should do well to store water while water is flowing.
Okay,
the other aspect also is that when they are best or repair work to be done in the area. Obviously, we need to isolate the area and have a repair. Okay, so our expectation is that they will bear with the situation while to try to solve all challenges and then improve on flow to that area. Thank you.
Okay, is there a number they can contact if they are experiencing issues with even lack of water in the tankers you've provided?
Vodafone, for the first number is for Vodafone holders only. So if you have Vodafone store line or the Vodafone landline, and if you call 0800 40,000, that line is free for Vodafone users.
Okay.
0800 40,000. So 0800 40,000.
Okay.
And for all other networks, it is 0302 218 240. 0302218240. And then we have cell numbers that work 24/7. Anytime you call, you'll be attended to. And that is 020-738-5087.
Okay.
And there are 4 numbers and they follow. So 020-738-5087, and then it follows 8889 and then 90. So if you call our call center, they'll take your complaint and then and send it to the appropriate process, and that will be rectified immediately. And then they will request a feedback from you to see whether you are satisfied with the job that has been done.
All right.
So we are doing our best.
Are there any timelines you can provide us finally so that we have an idea of when we can? Sorry, can you hear me?
People are using water.
Yes.
Okay, and they are using more water than either to the well. Okay, so it's make consumption of consumption has risen. Okay, you're working out the percentage increase of like since April.
Yes.
We've seen a rise, not even a steady, but an astronomical rise in the consumption.
But finally, are there any timelines you can provide us as? Can you hear me, Mr. Stanimate?
People are really using it, and then, or maybe
are you there?
Because of the COVID, people are washing hands more and taking their baths more.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Perfect. Are there any timelines you can provide us as far as when Ghanaians can start getting constant running water through their taps again?
It is very difficult for me to sit here and to say that all Ghanaians will get constant flow of water at a particular day. What I can say is that that we have a vision, okay, to have 100% access to water by year 2025.
Okay.
And then with the SDG, we are also supposed to get water. The access to water should be by 100% by the year 2030. Now, the Ghana Water Company Limited, with our ministry and government, are doing everything possible so that we can meet these targets.
Okay.
So, if I have to say anything, then I can go by these targets.
So in 5-6 years is when we will. Okay.
Or 2030, everybody should have access to water.
Okay.
Now, you also will have to bear in mind that access to water doesn't mean that you are going to have water in your home.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
that
fine.
Within a certain radius, you are going to get
access to water.
Within a certain radius from your home, you have access to water. And
Okay.
we are seriously working towards that. And we expect
Thank
you to bear with us.
All right.
And that is why we keep saying that let us pay our bills promptly.
Okay.
Because the Ghana Water Company.
We have to wrap you up now because we've run out of time. Thank you very much.
Into the communities and all that. Government
you.
also support us in the expansion of our treatment plants and then building of new treatment plants and all that.
Thank
so
you very much.
Of all. Thank you.
Mr. Stanley Mate is the Chief Manager and PR at and communications at the Ghana Water Company Limited. And as he said, you know, there's a large demand for water now, so they are having issues with the supply, which means that some of us will have to endure days without water. So on days when your taps are flowing, try and store as much water as you can, and we all have to do the little we can till we get to a point where we all have constant water running out of our taps. Let's take a look at the next message we received.
Mr. President, we dear yes, Ropa, from Kwame Nkrumah to Salma. A quine in your cry, into Mr. President, yes, Ropa, Papa, the baby, I will be a Bashana, ye be before quine, whom I am saying, I were here, ye brepa, see here.
So this issue has to do with the roads in Elembele, and I want us to take a look at the video again because we've received so many stories relating to this particular road. So we'll take a look at that video again and continue the conversation.
Mr. President, we dear yes, Ropa, from Kwame Nkrumah to Salma. A quine in your cry, into Mr. President, yes, Ropa, Papa, the baby, I will be a Bashana, ye be before quine, whom I am saying, I were here, ye brepa, see here. Mr. President, we dear yes, Ropa, from Kwame Nkrumah to Salma. A quine in your cry, into Mr. President, yes, Ropa, Papa, the baby, I will be a Bashana, ye be before quine, whom I am saying, I were here, ye brepa, see here. Mr. We dear.
So that is the road that leads to Kwame Nkrumah's hometown. The people there are primarily cocoa farmers. There are so many economic opportunities that could come to that place if we fix the roads. For instance, Kwame Nkrumah's hometown could be a great tourist attraction. Kwame Nkrumah is a big brand globally. When you talk about Ghana's independence, the independence of Africa in general, and black freedom, people would want to come into this country and find out where this man is from, where did he grow up. And they have to deal with this terrible road getting to his hometown. They are cocoa growers. Cocoa is one of the raw materials we depend on as a nation to develop this country. If we are able to fix that road, there's so much they can do with just the cocoa production alone to feed themselves and their families. We've heard stories of women struggling to get to hospitals on this road. We've heard stories of cars refusing to drive on that road. Our colleague, Akwesi J. Enin, spoke to the DCE of this area, and this is what he had to say.
You realize that the contractor is doing clearing because you have to clear before the form. That's an 18-month contract. That is on the consolidated fund. It's one of the critical routes. We have two critical road projects in this district. We have Teleku Bukazu to Eniben Junction, which is a 30.5 kilometers road currently being constructed by Memphis. And then there is Telekubukazu to Inasi, which passes through where we are. As you can see, this road is there. It has been deteriorating. Now, Memphis is fixing it right from Telekubukazu all the way to Inasi. All of them have 18-month duration. The contract was signed in February 2020, this year, for 18 months. So we are looking at 18 months from February 2020.
So that's Mr. Kwesi Bonzo, who's the DCE of Elembele. And honestly, after 10, 20 years of this road being what it is, there's absolutely no excuse. This government has been in power for almost 4 years. Kwame Nkrumah, let's even take the Kwame Nkrumah part aside. The people in this community are Ghanaian citizens who deserve to contribute the best they can to the development of this country. That road directly hinders their productivity. They can't move from point A to point B on this terrible road. They can't achieve much. We're trying to get the DCE to talk to us. We've called him several times. He has not picked up. We're going to revisit this issue next week because we need answers to why that road has still not been fixed in a community that has a lot of potential to generate revenue, not only for the people who live there, but for the entire country. This again is the Hello Mr. President segment on Breakfast Daily. This is an opportunity for you to bring us into your community. Whatever problems you're facing, are your roads bad? Are your schools terrible? What's going on with water situation, electricity? Bring us into your home by taking a 1-minute video and showing us exactly what's happening within your community. Send that email to us at hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com or via WhatsApp 0550-585832. And every Wednesday at 9:30 on Breakfast Daily, we'll show the entire world and call the policymakers who are supposed to solve those problems to answer to the issues that you're facing. Don't go anywhere. Breakfast Daily will be right back.
All right, welcome back. It's time for us to talk Keyboard Idol. And as you know very well, we have the top 20, and they're going to go into competitions for us to find out who makes it to the top 10. I've been joined by Ranstina Yankee, who is going to, she's the deputy programs head, and she's going to help us to understand where we are and where we're going with Keyboard Idol. Good morning, Ranstina.
Good morning, Kweku.
So, what's next with Keyboard Idol? We have our top 20.
All right, we have our top 20. The next steps are to audition these top 20.
Okay.
Listen to how they play and battle it amongst themselves to get the top 10. Because it's the top 10 that will enter the main competition. So last week, what you saw was just us representing what we did like in a journey. So we had over 300 entries. We've said this time and again. I don't know if people actually wanted to see the whole thing being shown in one episode, which wasn't possible. So what we did was, when we whittled the numbers down to 100, we whittled it down again to 30, so that we can have like a bit of it, bits and pieces of it shown in one episode to just give you a general idea of how the selection process was done. And so if you didn't see your video, we have some people saying, oh, I didn't see my video, I didn't see. Yeah, we couldn't have played everything because it's a lot. Now, once the last week has happened, every week on Saturday at 7 p.m., City TV will now show the journey of the Keyboard Idol.
Okay.
So this coming Saturday, we'll be showing the first 10 episodes, the first 10 auditions.
Okay.
That we've done, and then the following week we show the other 10.
Okay.
And then we continue like
From
that.
there.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Will we be out of the first 10? Will we be selecting any group of people?
Oh,
that
no,
will be winning?
no.
We're just going to
so
show. the
yes,
audition. Okay.
the complete thing is the 20
Okay.
episodes. After which we will announce the top
right.
10.
Okay.
So yes, for now, no, we are not going to give away who makes
All
the
right.
top 10.
So, are you going to be housing them? What's the plan?
Okay, so
What are you gonna-
the plan is not to house them for now.
Okay.
We will be as we go along, we'll be seeing how things work.
Okay.
Because we have to take the necessary precautions
Of course.
because of COVID.
Yeah.
Yes.
Extraordinary times.
And out of these top 20, we had 2 women or 2 young ladies.
Okay.
Out of all the top that we picked,
Yeah.
and I'm proud of them. I want to say congratulations, in fact, to all of you.
What are their names?
So we had two ladies. The
Yeah.
first one is Erajwa Obobia Boating,
Okay.
who is 13 years from East Legon.
Wow.
And then we had Bess Mariwuda Mate, from who is 14 years from North Legon.
Okay.
And then we had about 2 people or 3 from Takrade and Volta region.
Wow.
So let me quickly go
Yes,
through.
yes, please do.
So Justice Kwanzaa is 14 years from Mampobi. Uriel Yeboah Afre, 14 years from Tema.
Yeah.
And then Chris Afelete Tamaklo, he's 13 years from Ho.
Okay.
And then Eraja Obobia, who I mentioned, 13 East Legon.
Yeah.
Jojoe Yuram Noamesi, she is 14 years from Malijo.
Yeah.
And Kelvin Yeboah Ichampon, 12 years from Takrade. Vinyo Anku, 11 years from Ayimensa.
Yeah.
Wayne J. Donko from Odoko, he is 14 years. Emmanuel Ebo Hills Men's the 4th.
Yeah.
He's from Kwashiman and he's 12 years. And then Edwin Eje Ejekwe, 14 years from Teshi. Bess Marie Wudamate, 14 years from North Legon. Daniel Ejekum Ewa, 14 years from Teshi Nungwa. Boaz Yeboah, 14 from Sogakope. Ezra Blessing is 9 years.
Yeah,
Nungwa.
wow. Okay.
Nana Yao Nkrumah Bwando, 13 years from Legon. Abebio Josiah from Ashaman, 14 years. Joel Yani Jr., he's from Pantine, 13 years. And then Jeremiah Kwe Oyibi, 9 years. And Nana Kweku Yeboah Eklika, he is from Eklika in Lashibi, 14 years. And Euclid Sando Efuifa is from Takrade, 13 years.
So much. Thank you so much, Rastina.
Thank you for having
joining
me.
us.
Yes.
And I always do this show every morning with Jifa Ekuya Ametam. My name is David Kwekusechi. We'll see you same time tomorrow morning. Keep watching City TV.
This is